Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Have you ever hit that wall maybe mid-afternoon where you're just staring at your screen and your brain feels like it's, I don't know, stuck in quicksand?
Oh, absolutely. Like your thoughts are just moving incredibly slowly.
Exactly. Focus is shot. You can't remember things. Making even small decisions feels huge. That mental haze, brain fog, that's what we're digging into today.
Yeah, it's something so many people seem to experience in our, always on lives. So our mission here is to look at the sources you sent over and pull out the key stuff. What's actually causing this fog, and maybe more importantly, what are some simple science-backed ways to clear it up?
Okay, let's start with defining it, because I think there's some confusion there. Brain fog isn't really a medical diagnosis on its own, right?
That's right. It's more a collection of symptoms. Think of it as a sign that something needs attention either physically or mentally.
So what are those specific signs? What should people listen for in themselves?
Well, the big ones are finding it really hard to focus or concentrate for long periods, being forgetful, even about things you just learned or were told.
And that general feeling of just slow or disorganized thinking, like you're struggling to process information or make decisions.
Okay, so thinking of it as a symptom, not the core problem itself, is really important. It's like an alarm bell.
Precisely.
Yeah.
The material uses this great analogy, feeling mentally drained, like your phone's on low battery.
Yeah, I like that.
It's powerful because it shifts the focus. It's not some random glitch. It suggests we're not consistently managing our energy well. We need to look at the basics: sleep, nutrition, hydration, and of course, stress.
Right. Okay, let's unpack those then. Let's get into the 5 common triggers the sources point to. These aren't like super complex medical mysteries for most people, are they? They seem rooted in, well, basic biology.
Pretty much. They often boil down to unmet needs.
So let's start with maybe the most obvious one, but the one we probably all skimp on,
Sleep.
or lack thereof.
Yeah, number one for a good reason. Your brain really does need ideally 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep to function well. Less than that, and you immediately see a cognitive slowdown. Memory consolidation gets hit hard.
But it's more than just feeling tired, isn't it? There's that whole process happening during sleep.
Exactly. The sources mention this too. While you're awake, your brain cells are working hard, and they produce metabolic waste, like byproducts of being active.
Okay, so what happens with that waste during sleep?
That's when this amazing cleaning system kicks in. It's called the glymphatic system. It basically uses cerebrospinal fluid to flush out these toxins, including things like amyloid beta proteins, which are linked to bigger problems down the line.
Wow.
So if you cut sleep short, that cleaning process doesn't complete. Toxins build up. You're literally trying to operate with a brain that hasn't been properly cleaned, hence the fog.
That really ups the stakes on getting enough sleep.
Okay.
Trigger number 2. Diet. We kind of know junk food is bad, but what's the specific brain connection here?
It boils down to a couple of things: inflammation and blood sugar stability. You eat a lot of high sugar processed stuff, you get these sharp spikes in glucose followed by crashes.
Right, the dreaded sugar crash.
Yeah. And your brain needs a huge amount of steady energy. Those crashes directly lead to that feeling of mental slowness, confusion, fog. Plus, a diet low in essential nutrients tends to promote low-grade inflammation throughout the body, and that includes the brain, which can slow down how well your neurons talk to each other.
Okay, makes sense. Now, this next one really got my attention. Stress and anxiety. We all know stress feels bad, but the sources mentioned potential physical changes in the brain.
Yes, this is fascinating and kind of sobering. Chronic stress, the key word being chronic, floods your system with the hormone cortisol. And sustained high levels of cortisol are cited as potentially shrinking areas of the brain crucial for memory and learning, like the hippocampus.
Wait, shrinking? That sounds pretty serious. How quickly does that happen? Is it permanent?
Well, the source is stress. It's the long-term relentless pressure, think months or years, that seems to drive these structural changes. It's not like one bad week will do it. And importantly, it suggests this is often reversible. That's why stress management isn't just about feeling better. It's about allowing the brain's natural plasticity to repair and rebuild those connections.
Okay, that really reframes how we should think about managing stress. All right, moving on. Trigger number 4. Dehydration. feel like this one gets ignored a lot.
Massively overlooked. Your brain is, what, almost 75% water? The research highlights that even mild dehydration, we're talking, losing just 1 or 2% of your body weight in fluids, can impair cognitive functions like focus and short-term memory.
Just 1 to 2%. I always figured you had to be really, really thirsty for it to matter that much. What's the mechanism? Why does such a small loss cause problems?
When you're low on fluids, your blood volume slightly decreases and it gets a bit thicker. This means less efficient delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your brain cells. And crucially, water is vital for making and transporting neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers in your brain. Less water means slower messaging. It really is like trying to run thick oil through fine machinery.
Gotcha. And the final trigger is a reminder, really.
Exactly. Trigger 5 is just acknowledging that sometimes brain fog is linked to underlying medical conditions. If it's persistent, severe, or doesn't get better with lifestyle changes, you absolutely need to see a doctor. It could be anemia, thyroid issues, nutrient deficiencies, or even lingering effects from viruses like COVID-19.
Okay, that covers the why. Now for the part everyone wants to know. What can we actually do about it? Let's dive into these 7 science-backed habits to clear the fog. These seem pretty straightforward, but powerful. Let's start with the foundation. Improve sleep habits. We're calling it the reset.
Yeah, this is non-negotiable. Aim for that 7 to 9 hour window of quality sleep. As we said, sleep isn't just downtime, it's active maintenance. That glymphatic cleaning, memory consolidation, it all happens then.
So for the reset, what are the key practical things people should focus on?
Consistency is huge. Go to bed and wake up around the same time, even on weekends if you can. This helps regulate your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm. And the big one, cut out screens, phones, tablets, computers for at least an hour before bed. The blue light they emit really messes with your melatonin production, which is the hormone that signals sleep. Less melatonin means harder to fall asleep and often less restorative sleep. Keep the bedroom cool, dark, and quiet too.
Makes sense. Okay, remedy number 2. Eat brain-boosting foods. The fuel. We talked about inflammation and energy crashes from bad food. What foods actively fight that?
You want to focus on healthy fats, vitamins, and antioxidants. Omega-3 fatty acids are critical. Think fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, or even chia seeds and walnuts. Omega-3s help keep your brain cell membranes flexible and fluid, which is essential for fast communication between neurons.
So it's actually about the physical structure performing better.
Absolutely. Then you need antioxidants and key vitamins, like folate, found in leafy greens, spinach, kale, broccoli. Folate helps produce neurotransmitters and maintain the myelin sheath, which is like the insulation on your nerve cells.
Okay.
And don't forget whole grains oats, quinoa, brown rice. They provide that steady release of glucose, preventing the energy spikes and dips that contribute to fog.
Right. Avoiding those crashes. Okay, moving from fuel to lubrication. Back to water. Remedy number 3, stay hydrated. The oil change.
Yeah, given how even mild dehydration messes with brain function, the oil change is just fundamental for mental clarity. The standard advice is solid. Aim for at least 8 cups, about 2 liters of water throughout the day.
That can feel like a lot, especially if you're busy or stuck at a desk. Any simple tricks?
Keep a water bottle with you all the time. Make it visible. Sip consistently. Don't just chug huge amounts at once. And remember, hydrating foods count too. Things like cucumber, celery, oranges, watermelon. They contribute a lot to your fluid intake. Plus, they often come with electrolytes.
Good point. Okay, next up, movement. Remedy 4, exercise regularly. The oxygen boost. This feels intuitive, but what's the specific brain benefit beyond general health?
Exercise is incredibly potent. It immediately increases blood flow, delivering more oxygen to the brain. But it also stimulates the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
BDNF.
Think of it like fertilizer for your brain cells. It helps support the survival of existing neurons and encourages the growth of new ones and new connections. It boosts clarity and directly counteracts some of the negative effects of stress on the brain. Aim for about 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, like brisk walking, swimming, dancing, even just short bursts of movement.
And that leads perfectly into Remedy 5, reduce stress, the calming routine.
Yeah.
We heard how chronic stress and cortisol can physically impact the brain. So how do we actively counter that?
We need to consciously activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your body's rest and digest mode, the opposite of fight or flight. One of the simplest, most direct ways is through controlled breathing. Techniques like breathing in slowly for, say, 4 seconds and exhaling even more slowly, maybe for 6 seconds, this directly stimulates the vagus nerve. That nerve sends signals to your brain to basically calm down, reduce heart rate, lower blood pressure, and dial back that cortisol production.
Wow, it's amazing that something so simple can have such a direct physiological effect.
It really is.
Yeah.
And beyond breath work, things like mindfulness or meditation practices, even just journaling about what's stressing you out, can help create distance from those anxious thought loops that keep cortisol high. Making time for this kind of decompression isn't a luxury. It's vital for cognitive endurance.
Okay, Remedy 6 addresses how we actually work or focus. Take mental breaks. The endurance strategy. Yeah, the brain really wasn't designed for 8 straight hours of staring at a screen, was it?
Definitely not. Trying to maintain intense focus for too long just leads to cognitive fatigue, errors, and diminishing returns. Breaks are essential. They allow your brain to consolidate information, rest, and actually improve creativity and problem solving.
So what kind of breaks work best?
Structured techniques like the Pomodoro technique are great. You work intensely focused for, say, 25 minutes, then take a mandatory 5-minute break. Completely step away. After maybe 4 rounds, take a longer break. These mini resets help maintain mental stamina throughout the day.
Right, prevents burnout.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, the big modern challenge. Remedy 7 is limit screen time. The protection. This feels like a constant battle.
It really is. The main goal here is protecting your mental energy and focus, especially later in the day. We already mentioned the blue light issue disrupting melatonin and sleep.
Yeah, the reset.
Exactly. It circles back. So practical things include the 20-20-20 rule. During the day, every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds to reduce eye strain. Use blue light filters on your devices in the evening. But maybe the most important habit is scheduling actual screen-free time daily, especially in the hour or two before bed. Protect that wind-down period.
Okay, these remedies make a lot of sense. Let's quickly connect a few dots. A common question. If I start doing all this, how long until the brain fog actually lifts?
Well, it depends. If the fog is mostly down to a bad night's sleep, dehydration, or maybe a temporary stressful period, you could feel clearer in just a day or two of correcting it. But if it's been hanging around consistently for, say, more than a couple of weeks despite making these changes, that's definitely a signal to check in with a doctor.
And it's important to note, this isn't just an adult thing, right? The sources mentioned adolescents are experiencing this more and more.
Absolutely. And the triggers are largely the same. Intense academic pressure, not enough sleep, maybe poor diet choices, and, let's be honest, often huge amounts of screen time.
Which often leads to the question about supplements. Can you just pop a pill to fix brain fog?
Generally no. It's rarely a magic bullet.
But can they play a role? If someone suspects a deficiency.
They definitely can help if there's an actual deficiency or known low intake. For instance, vitamin B12 is crucial for nerve function, and low levels absolutely cause fatigue and cognitive problems. Omega-3s can also be beneficial if your diet is lacking. But the key takeaway from the sources is that supplements work best when they support healthy habits, they enhance the fuel or the reset, they don't replace the need for good sleep, diet, and stress management.
Right. So, back to those red flags. When should someone stop trying self-help remedies and absolutely make that doctor's appointment?
You need to seek professional advice if the brain fog is persistent, lasting weeks without getting better. If it seems to be getting progressively worse, if it's significantly impacting your ability to function at work, school, or just in daily life, or, importantly, if it comes alongside other concerning symptoms like major fatigue that won't quit, unexplained weight changes, or persistent feelings of depression or anxiety.
Okay, so this deep dive really highlights that brain fog isn't just some vague feeling. It seems to be a genuine neurological slowdown, often linked to pretty clear causes.
Yeah, and I think the most hopeful message here is that it's usually very manageable. It's often just your brain's way of signaling that its basic support systems, sleep, nutrition, hydration, stress management, are running low and need attention. Prioritizing these fairly simple lifestyle shifts can make a huge difference in regaining mental clarity.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture? We've seen the triggers are often tied to our small, daily choices, things we do outside of our main tasks. Now, if things like chronic stress and maybe a lack of boundaries around screen time are cited as potentially having physical effects, like impacting memory areas via cortisol, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of our overall cognitive performance, maybe even across society, including young people, is simply reflecting these ongoing small failures to consistently implement things like the reset and the calming routine. That's definitely something to think about as you maybe schedule that first 5-minute Pomodoro break today.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.